One of the jobs up for grabs in the November election is Public Lands Commissioner in Washington. Tonight, we sat down with each of the candidates to talk about their plans to specifically protect Eastern Washington from wildfire.
Eastern Washington, Central Washington, you don't have to explain to anybody the devastation of wildfire.
My agenda is pretty simple. Number one, I want to, protect our clean air, clean water, and habitat.
What would you say are your biggest Eastern Washington priorities?
When I'm in Eastern Washington, I hear about three priorities. Number one, wildfires. Number two, wildfires. And number three, wildfires. We've got to continue to improve our work preventing wildfires. And this means doing more things like thinning, both commercial and non-commercial, prescribed burns in partnership with the community. And it also means continuing to improve our response and our recovery.
Making sure that we can suppress those fires when they start and as quickly as possible. But I want to continue the upland work of prevention. And that goes hat in hand with this. If you do one and not the other, you're just setting yourself up for failure. And my opponent right now is talking about taking land off the rolls in Western Washington. So he would say it doesn't impact our firefighting ability. It directly impacts it, because if you take $2 billion worth of inventory off the rolls in Western Washington, that you better believe that's going to impact our ability to fight fires and do the upland work in Eastern and Central Washington.
So we've already done 800,000 acres. It's been tremendous. In the places where that thinning and that work has been done, it has made a difference, but it's really a drop in the bucket when it comes to how much forest land we really do have. How do you do enough to make a difference?
That's a great question, and you're exactly right. So I want to also do some of that forest health work using federal money on some of the federal lands, because it's going to complement the forest health priorities that we're doing and putting in place in Washington State on the trust lands.
We need to be strategic in pursuing federal funds. I'd like to actually designate a staff member in the Department of Natural Resources to work on federal government relations. I think we would get our money's worth. We also need to keep making the case to the state legislature.
How do you balance the needs of Western Washington and Eastern Washington, knowing that they are very different?
One of the things I've found as I've traveled the state is, and I've been at this for a year now in small towns and rural communities, is, a lot of the values and needs aren't as different as we think. Everyone values clean air and clean water. I think we all, whether you're in Eastern Washington or Western Washington, value recreation, whether it's horseback riding, hunting, fishing, backpacking, and these are universal.
We are a resource-rich state. We are amazing, actually. And we've been just beaten into this corner to think, oh, don't use it. That's how you protect it. But that's not true. The science around a well-managed piece of DNR land sequesters over 11 metric tons of carbon. That is more than any of the carbon projects that anyone has talked about so far in the state. So if we turn our forests into these carbon workforces, oh my goodness, we can do it. And that's the balance to me, is getting beyond the politics of this.
What do you say to people here in Eastern Washington who feel like their needs and their concerns are often forgotten from state office holders?
I mean, I think it's true. I agree. You need someone who's willing to value everyone on the same playing field. And that's something I have done. I think that perspective needs to be at the helm. If you're leading a 2,000+ person agency, which is what this executive does, you need to have those perspectives on problem solving and working across the aisle and understand who your bosses are. They are the people of the state of Washington.
What is your message specifically to voters here in Eastern Washington?
I understand how important it is to meet our responsibility to keep these communities safe. My commitment is to follow the science, to be an independent-minded voice, to work in a bipartisan manner to address the wildfire challenges in Eastern Washington.
And you can watch my entire interview with both candidates on our streaming platform, KREM 2+. It is free to download right now on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.